Welcome on in, everybody. The new patch is finally here, and it was only 1 day late. I guess I'll take it. And with the patch came quite a few different balance changes, and two big ones I kind of want to talk about today with some footage in the background as I play my 50-con Musket Rapier setup. And I'll do a little bit of a breakdown at the end of this video if you guys are curious what I'm running, but I still have to make some big changes to this build. So let's jump right into that PvP commentary, and during this fight I'm going to talk about the changes that have really impacted this build with this patch. I managed to get myself a nice fight against 3 enemy players here, and they just kind of chased me a little bit, and I just tried to find a nice spot where I can fight them. This build, because I'm so mobile, honestly, open field is fantastic. These guys are having a really hard time catching up to me, and I can pick out the targets if I'm able to spread them out like that. There's some really big damage on the healer. So let's talk about that. They made some big changes to Constitution with this last patch. The first 150 points you put in are going to give you a lot more health than they used to. They're, again, so much damage with that shot on that guy. And I think that this was a change that Amazon had said they wanted to do to encourage people to actually put more points in Constitution. I'll be honest, I don't think it worked. I think that my glass cannon build at 50 con feels so much better now. I feel like my damage is still super threatening, and I can burst people down really quickly. And on top of it, I've got an additional 600 or 700 more health than I did before. So net, I don't feel like I'm having trouble killing players or that the time to kill has gone down significantly. If anything, I feel like my survivability has gone up a lot more. So I think this is more like a buff to glass cannon builds than anything else. On top of it, there is the change to dexterity. Now, this isn't going to affect every build, but a lot of builds were dumping at least 150 into dexterity in order to take advantage of that cheaper dodge roll, which is now moved to 300 dexterity. Right off the bat, I feel like this is kind of a nerf to buildcraft. Putting 150 points in dexterity was a really nice utility option where a lot of different builds would give up damage just to get that additional utility. Something like Fire Staff and Rapier running 150 dex was very common prior to this patch. And now I don't think we're going to see that build having those dodge capabilities anymore. And on the flip side, glass cannon builds, or builds that are investing a ton of points into dex like bow builds, they are going to keep that cheaper dodge, and it just allows those builds to make an even larger gap between them and the builds that don't have access to that roll passive. Since I'm playing 300 dex and 150 intel on this musket build, I definitely noticed that I can roll a lot more than other opponents can this patch, especially melees. I think that this is a huge nerf to a lot of different melee builds that aren't building heavily into dex already. Honestly, I think the only good thing about this change is that you can no longer have the reduced roll passive with the grit on your light and heavy attacks from 300 con. So yeah, let's talk about these fights here. So as you guys can see, I came back for round 2 against these guys. Just came back to where they had originally come from, and they continued to fight me, and I get a huge shot on that healer. Oh my god, what was that, like 4.5, almost 5k damage on him. And there's a beautiful throw on the trap. I landed right on top of that guy, the flourish and finish to get him, and the purple player coming in as well, a little bit of help. And I see another green archer coming in from the side here, and I start to get in the ranged engagement with him. He comes very close with the spear. Unfortunately, he gassed his stamina there, and that was my opportunity to go for some big damage, but instead I load up a Rapier heavy attack in the middle of nowhere, and I see the poor purple player getting attacked by both players now, so I turn to the low health target, and I manage to get the shots in to bring him down. And then the archer here is distracted by me. Instead of looking at the purple player, I get huge damage with that Rapier combo, and then he starts to run away, and yeah, we're just gonna fast forward this bit here. Just excuse my aim, guys. Oh man, we get okay damage on him, but this guy does manage to escape, and then I come back to this location. I stand there pretending to be AFK, and they, of course, jump on me and take the bait. And the healer is in the back here. Get on top of him with the Rapier, the flesh into the flurry, or the flourish and finish. And I get good damage on the healer. Now, the healer and the spear guy in this fight are very squishy, but they have a pretty high amount of thrust resist, so I definitely think that they are running PvP builds. They are just kind of like me, running 50 or even 100 con on their setups. And there I take a pretty nasty combo. Stoneform coming in clutch to save me. Honestly, a build like this with Stoneform is just so trolly because Stoneform will scale the healing off of your heart rune power, not off of your max health. like your consumables will. So it's a really, really nice, I guess, ultimate in that regard. The healing power doesn't get lowered if your health is very low. But that's something, too, I wanted to mention about the Constitution change. It actually increased my healing power. It should have increased everybody's healing power, to be honest, but that is a nice thing that is helping out my glass cannon build, too. And there I managed to get a great flourish and finish into the flesh, and there's the backstab, and I bring him down. And I shoot some shots in there. I hit the guy's foot as he tries to res, and then I do manage to take down the target. And a little bit more time goes by. This guy ends up coming back again, and I get hit with one of the weirdest bugs I've seen in a while. I was going for the stopping power shot, and this guy hits me with a hard stun, and now I'm just permanently stuck zoomed in. I kind of panic here. I could switch to the Rapier and make an escape, but honestly, I have no idea where anybody is. So yeah, that hurt a little bit. And I, of course, got a little bit of OPR footage as well. Yeah, PvP this patch has actually been a lot of fun. I am quite enjoying how strong the glass cannon build feels. There's a nice combo on that guy as he goes for his knockdown, and I have the grit from Flourish and Finish. I unfortunately missed the shot. Oh my gosh. That could have been the kill there. He's shooting at me too. I throw the trap down, manage to catch one of these guys, and then drop off the edge. And I see if they're going to follow me around. They end up deciding not to. This guy is playing Musket with traps. I love to see it. So he's throwing a lot of traps down on the doorway. And the Sword and Shield player comes charging out. I get him with the stopping power. And look at that brutal damage. No crit needed. He takes a huge combo from the Flourish and Finish as well. He just drops his guard at the end. I managed to pick up the kill off of him, and I end up trading some shots with this guy here. I don't notice that the game is actually almost over, and well, that is the last clip that I have of gameplay for you guys in this video. I'm going to do a quick breakdown of the build, just show you guys my skill trees and a quick look at the gear that I'm running if you guys are interested. But yeah, I do think that this patch was a big buff to glass cannon builds. I feel like especially Musket Rapier feels a lot better this patch than it did last patch. And I would love to hear what you guys think about these changes, especially the dexterity change. I feel like that's one that people are going to have maybe not the best opinions about. I don't really know. For me, I don't really like the change. The Constitution change, at least, everybody benefits from. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that like and or subscribe button. If you want to see written guides to a bunch of different PvP builds, you can find it on my website, pvpnewworld.com, and I will be uploading this build to the site in the very near future as well. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, there's a link down below for you guys. And of course, if you have an awesome clip that you want to send into the New World Top 5, you can send that to Kristofer at pvpnewworld.com. A big thank you to our sponsor, ExpressVPN, for sponsoring the show. You can get a deal with your first purchase with them, thanks to the link down below. And of course, a massive thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon for supporting the show. Thank you guys so much for keeping this going. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of the open world PvP. I am liking this patch, and I'm excited to go get some more fights. This Musket build in open world is an absolute terror. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night, everybody, and I hope to see you next time.